What is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. Thank you for joining me today because we've got quite a bit to talk about with regards to new teasers and trailers coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. So in today's video, I'm playing a little bit of catch up, and I probably will be for a few days. Unfortunately, I wasn't around yesterday. I was out. So please bear with me whilst I try my best to post coverage, not only on what we're talking about today, and that will consist of the Black Adam trailer, the Shazam, Fury of the Gods trailer, as well as the no Superman stuff. We need to talk about that because I think a lot of fans are somewhat devastated. If you're wondering about my coverage on the Riddler Year 1 updates, the Penguin Show updates with Colin Farrell, to the Sandman trailer for Netflix, as well as, of course, the Marvel stuff, because there's been a lot of Marvel stuff coming out, just know that I am going to be covering everything at some point this week. Unfortunately, I'm a one-man band, so I can only get so much out at a time. So bear with me, because as you know here, I do in-depth breakdowns, and those in-depth breakdowns on everything will be coming. But starting off today, at San Diego Comic-Con, we started off with Dwayne Johnson arriving kind of full WWE style, like flexing in the Black Adam suit. As we know, this has been a huge passion project of his. We know he's always and has wanted to play this character for a long time. And from the panel itself, before we get into some of those trailer details, there was quite a bit of discussion, of course, surrounding a movie, with comicbook.com in attendance recording quite a few details, so I do want to skim over some of those, with the director crediting Johnson for pushing everyone to do it differently and do it better. And they wanted to blow people's minds with this movie. And Dwayne Johnson said that they really want to usher in a new era in the DC universe. I know the whole hype around this has been, you know, the power is about to change in the DC universe, or like the hierarchy of power, but there's been quite a lot of talk with regards to building this new DCEU with the Justice Society, and Dwayne Johnson credited the director for being able to do that so well. So with everything that we're going to see in this movie with Dr. Fate and various other Justice Society members that we're getting, it does feel as though in the new DCEU, perhaps even post the Flash movie, we will be seeing these characters echo throughout movies. I'm not saying that they're replacing the Justice League, but this whole quote of Dwayne Johnson quite literally saying, build out a new era of the DC universe with the Justice Society, just kind of infers that it's not just this film, which hopefully, if we receive it very well, we'll also all be down to see those characters, and possibly seeing even more JSA members appear in future movies, because as we know, we're only getting a few in this movie. There's still quite a few others out there, such as Hourman. I don't know about Stargirl, but who knows, seeing a JSA speedster like Jay Garrick would be insane. But then again, how would that fit in with Ezra Miller's Barry Allen? Perhaps post-Flashpoint they can fit that in there as well. But let's talk a little bit about what Dwayne Johnson has said before we get into the trailer details with regards to Superman, because this has been a topical anticipation, if you will, with regards to San Diego Comic-Con on the DC side of things. And I personally thought that it was kind of likely to happen, but I was wrong. For me, this wasn't an expectation. It was just going off of what was teased so far. But a lot of fans got their hopes up, and you may be one of them, because Deadline and various other places were reporting that there was a little bit of buzz with regards to Henry Cavill making a surprise appearance at San Diego Comic-Con to talk Superman. Now, this was put into doubt for various people because apparently he was filming The Witcher in the UK on Friday, but that still didn't completely kill the rumor, because obviously a virtual appearance could be made, even if it was like a 1 minute, you know, few lines of, you know, I am, you know, putting on the cape again, something like that. But also, with regards to what Dwayne Johnson has said before, and not too long ago, on top of the rumor, this is really kind of what made it feel as though this could be a reality, with Dwayne Johnson saying to a fan who was talking about if there was a cameo in Black Adam, he would want it to be Superman. Dwayne Johnson said, from back in the day when I was wrestling in flea markets for $40 a match, all the way till now, I've learned to always listen to the audience, because they will always lead you to where you need to go. I hear you, and I always got you. Now, to me, that seemed like, would you really kind of say, I hear you, and I always got you, with regards to a Superman cameo, unless something like that was being possibly done behind the scenes? But that's when, this weekend, we basically got nothing with regards to the Deadline rumor, and when a fan asked Dwayne Johnson who would win in a fight between Black Adam and Superman, Johnson says it depends who is playing Superman. Now, I guess that's not like a definitive answer or anything, but it just still held up in like everyone's mind. Oh, so it depends who's playing Superman. So I guess that means maybe not Henry Cavill then. And on top of no Henry Cavill, yeah, as you can tell, the rumor is yeah, a bit of crickets chirping. People are still hoping that there's going to be a DC fandom this year. I think there still should be, because they can still do additional trailers, they can feature the Flash movie, they can feature quite a lot. But there's still no word on that. So I'm not saying keep the flame alive for DC fandom with regards to Henry Cavill, especially when there is no confirmation right now with regards to a DC fandom, but just thought I would chuck that out there. There is definitely things they can show at DC fandom with regards to the movies, as well as the TV shows and other projects. But now getting into the Black Adam trailer, the thing is, despite having a trailer out there now, a new one on YouTube, there was an exclusive trailer shown at San Diego Comic-Con, and compared to that of the trailer we got released online, Polygon said the new Black Adam trailer that played in Hall H included a stinger that was left absent from its wide release, a quick shot of a hellishly red horned head rising from some kind of ground or liquid. Pair that with the previous leaks of Black Adam merchandise, and we have a good idea of exactly who that head belongs to on set and off. Now, that is obviously the main villain of the movie, Sabak. I wouldn't call them toy leaks or merchandise, I guess maybe a long time ago, but recently McFarlane Toys have put out, you know, literal figures of the JSA, Black Adam, and the main villain, Sabak. So it would have been cool to get a little bit of a feature of Sabak in this trailer, because even though this trailer did step up the game a bit more, there were a few familiar scenes here and there. It was just paced a lot better with a bit more action, but I do feel like we need to get that reveal. But again, this is why DC fandom should still happen, because they have got a lot more to show than even what they released yesterday online. But comicbook.com also described in this exclusive trailer the JSA is gathering under the direction of Amanda Waller to stop Black Adam, referred to as a loose canon. Now, I believe it was rumored a long time ago that Harcourt from Peacemaker or the Suicide Squad, as well as even Steve Agee's Dyebeard and whatnot, could be appearing in the Black Adam movie, so this probably falls in line with Amanda Waller. And it's kind of nuts to me that the JSA are almost like listening to Amanda Waller there. Maybe, I mean, I trust that they operate as their own entity, but Waller was just like, this guy quite literally is a loose cannon, so I'm not ordering you to do anything, but hey, if I could just tell you or give you a job, like, you kind of need to go to the present day Kahndaq, because there's this new Superman, effectively, who doesn't have the same moral compass as Superman. So maybe go over there, which is obviously how the JSA are going to first interact with Black Adam. But speaking of the Black Adam trailer, that first shot opens up with Black Adam suspended in air, hovering, and looking at something pretty golden. Now, I'm wondering if this is what is revealed to him after he's used his powers to blast through that rock we see in the various trailers. In the next shot, we see Adriana running with this younger kid who's featured quite a bit in the various trailers, and lots of people have been theorizing that this could indeed be her younger brother, who will or is Osiris. And if you didn't know already, but I do recommend checking out my previous Black Adam trailer breakdowns and information breakdowns, because we get quite in detail about what we know about the plot and the adaptations of the characters so far. But Adriana basically is leading the resistance against that malicious gang, well, known as Intergang, in present-day Kahndaq. And they're obviously controlling it, and behind them will indeed be that main villain, Sabak, of whom will be formidable enough to the point of where Black Adam will need to work with the JSA to take him down. And obviously, when Black Adam wakes up, he's obviously gonna look at, like, present-day Kahndaq and be like, excuse me, like, who are you? And that's gonna lead to him trying to wipe the place clean of their presence. However, even though he'll need the JSA's help, they will somewhat get off on the wrong foot to begin with. Moments like this are demonstrated in the trailer, where we have Cyclone using her powers to try and contain Black Adam, as well as Dr. Fate. And I love this moment. We see like multiple Dr. Fates trying to restrain Black Adam in that moment, but we see Black Adam is still somewhat breaking through. Let alone that moment where Hawkman just tries to come down on Black Adam, but he just gets stopped right in his stride, like mid-air, effortlessly by Black Adam. There's going to be many shots like this, I think, where they try and make Black Adam look like he's not even breaking a sweat, even when it comes to JSA heroes like Hawkman. This specific battle between Hawkman and Cyclone, Dr. Fate, I think will be very early on in the movie, after obviously Black Adam's come back in present day. He's somewhat flying around the city, causing a bit of carnage. They come in under the intel of Amanda Waller. There's a bit of a confrontation because it's the first time they're seeing this guy and he's clearly causing quite a bit of damage. That's where they're going to butt heads, but obviously as things unfold, they can't exactly reason with Black Adam, so that's when Dr. Fate will likely try other ways to reel him in a little bit. Then we get some shots of Black Adam's time back in Kahndaq, and unfortunately where his son gets killed. We've had previous teasers of this moment, but this was a slightly additional scene or perspective of that moment where his son dies. I love that moment in the trailer where Dr. Fate like comes into the room in Dr. Fate mode, but somewhat transitioning into his normal Piers Brosnan look by just taking off the helmet. I feel like the effects of what we're seeing, at least in these trailers, look really clean. And as per some previous trailers, we have Dr. Fate warning about the situation with Black Adam, saying that he has two paths. He can be the destroyer of this world, or he can be its savior. I would, and I really hope for some dialogue with regards to Superman there, because technically there is an actual Kryptonian out there who is arguably a savior and can rival Black Adam, so is he going to be brought up? Like, I really want to see if that's addressed in the movie, even if in the most subtle way. Especially with another line of dialogue from Black Adam at the end saying, the world needed a hero. Instead, it got me. But it's like, where's Superman? So yeah, as for the Black Adam stuff, at the panel, the trailer, I enjoyed it. The trailer was, as I said earlier, like, it was a lot more entertaining. It was coming in with a few more hits to the hammer with regards to the pacing of the footage, the JSA being featured a bit more prominently. I do think, and I understand they wanted to give a bit of a cool exclusive look at Hall H at Comic-Con, but I do feel like the next trailer needs to give us a bit more into gang. I feel like in the trailers they're getting across Black Adam being a bit of a threat, obviously the JSA coming in, but I think we all get the vibes that they're not exactly gonna hug and be friends, but we know Black Adam's gonna work with JSA, so I want to see more of the, not necessarily the man behind the curtains, but more about intergang, maybe some teasers of Sabak coming into power and why he wants to hold the intergang power over present-day Kahndaq. And I'm not saying the whole next trailer needs to give everything away. I just feel like all of these teasers so far we've had for Black Adam, despite this latest one being by far the most impressive, have just still been echoing a similar beat there. So let me know what you think of it regardless. I'm still very impressed and I'm looking forward to it. But let's now move on to Shazam 2, or just Shazam Fury of the Gods, because I've actually been looking forward to this one quite a lot. I know it's kind of funny, like unpopular opinion, like writing aside, subjectively, I still really enjoy the Shazam movie. I really like Zachary Levi in the role. I like the kind of perspective of Billy just kind of being like me or you, reacting to the world and being a superhero, so to speak, as if we would, you know, if we had the ability of Shazam. Like one of those final moments in the trailer, he's like, oh man, I love my life, you know, I'm fighting a dragon. It does kind of bring out a bit more of the playful side of DC, and normally I wouldn't like that if it's in a show or a movie of a character who's meant to take themselves more seriously, but obviously this is Shazam. This is Billy Batson. He is a kid. So as for what's been said about Shazam Fury of the Gods at the panel, we have Zachary Levi saying that we got this really cool look into all of the kids getting their superpowers at the end of the first movie. We've all been flying around doing various missions trying to help the city of Philadelphia and the world at large. The kids are still trying to figure themselves out and their superpowers out. We're just all trying to figure it out. It adds for a really great, interesting bedrock of reality that you can connect to as a human being, because we're superheroes, but we're human beings. And in terms of where Billy Batson's at in age, they say that he's been doing this whole superhero thing for a while now. Adulthood's on the horizon for him, and that's a little scary because he doesn't know what's going to happen when he's 18. I'd say Billy's main focus is maintaining the dynamic of the Shazam family. So as for the actual teaser we got for Shazam 2, it picks up with Billy in somewhat of a therapy situation with a pediatrician. We get into a bit of the headspace of how Billy is feeling at this moment, as per what we were kind of going over with the comments from Zachary Levi saying he feels like he doesn't deserve these powers. There's already superheroes out there, with a bit of a shout out to the Flash and even Aquaman, Batman, and he's just him, and he feels like a fraud. And amongst all of this commentary, we see these little newbie moments with Billy getting wrecked flying around, making similar newbie mistakes as we saw in the first movie, but it's kind of funny with him doing this for a bit longer now. He's got a bit more confidence, but with the more confidence of being Shazam, I suppose, the more bigger newbie accidents happen. And that's when we see a little bit of a teaser of them all getting geared up to do some superhero business. Now this is when we have the foster parents here that they're all going to fight crime, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if they've somewhat put it together. I mean, I doubt it, because even though they are the Shazam family and very powerful, I do believe, if I remember correctly, the secret was maintained at the end. So there must be some comedic moments where they're watching the Shazam family on TV at the bridge location that we see in this trailer, and they have no idea that it's really, you know, the Foster family. And that's when we see them all arrive at the bridge. And to me, this looks really sweet. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to seeing these new suits in motion, the new powers, and seeing, because this looks like quite a spectacle of a movie. From this point onwards, this is where we get a lot more teasers of the daughters of Atlas and the Greek mythic creatures that we've had teased for quite a while now. So the daughters of Atlas, Hespera and Calypso, played by Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu, aren't exactly a big fan of the fact that the powers of the gods have been stolen in their eyes and, you know, bestowed upon children. They arrive to Earth in this movie to kick up quite a fuss about it, and saying that this is very personal. We also have the Wizard returning in this movie, and I'm very intrigued as to how that's working, because he did kind of turn into a bit of dust, if I remember correctly, after giving and bestowing the powers of Shazam upon Billy. I mean, I guess you could argue that he didn't die. I mean, we see him here in this location, but at various points in the trailer and showing different points in the movie, we see him appearing beside Billy. So I think he will also appear as somewhat of a guide to Billy through that of their connection, as he kind of, I feel like, most certainly needs it, as not so much of a confident hero, somewhat of a Obi-Wan to the newbie Luke, if you will. And this is when he's giving a warning to Billy, saying that the fate of the world depends on it, and that the daughters of Atlas are coming for him. And that's when we see the daughters of Atlas approach the Wizard's magic staff, the one that Billy broke towards the end of the first movie, so no one else could kind of use it for their dark deeds. It just seems that they could just walk up to it and just, it seems like it whammies them. It turns out from other clips in this trailer that the staff is put back together. We have Calypso holding it, and it seems to be the very way they're actually bringing all of these creatures and wreaking the chaos they are in this movie to the Shazam family. So yeah, they're gonna have to fight the daughters of Atlas with the magic staff. But we also know that Rachel Zelga is playing one of the daughters of Atlas as well, the youngest, in fact. As we see in this scene with Calypso holding the magic staff, we see her standing by her two older sisters. Now, I do think that she's going to end up playing both sides in the movie, and could actually very well end up being quite key in defeating her sisters if she ultimately goes over to their side and helps the Shazam family with some kind of way of going up against them, because we do see her quite connected with Freddy's character, with him even holding her in the midst of like a dragon attack in this part of the trailer. And I believe this is where Billy actually comes in and saves them in this moment, because it does appear to be the same moment we saw in the behind the scenes of quite a while back at DC Fandom, of where they were showing Billy holding on to this dragon's tail. And yeah, it seems like the similar location. So it seems that because she's the youngest, that she somewhat bonds with Freddy, and it seems fairly typical that she might give them some useful information, even though initially we will obviously see her on her sister's side. But this provides for quite an awesome moment where the trailer likes to show the family doing that superhero kind of walk, and they all say Shazam and become the Shazam family version of themselves. So obviously, again, a predictable part of this movie will be seeing them become somewhat competent in navigating a threat, an unprecedented threat as well, as a Shazam family working together, but also all of the underlying tones as well of getting closer and whatnot. We see Grace Fulton's Mary saying, I don't know how we fight powers like this, but we can also see what the kids have done with the Rock of Eternity via decorations, and that's hilarious to me. I can't wait to get a bit of a better look of this, but it seems that they've somewhat pimped out the cavern, if you will, with all kinds of things. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like arcade machines in their games consoles and God knows what else. And the very ending of the trailer just kind of goes ham with the action of various creatures, and from what we've seen from concept art as well of the Library of Eternity to that of the Realm of the Gods, because we got some pretty sweet looks at that. So, you know, this movie will just be going outside of Philadelphia. It's gonna be pretty awesome seeing the Shazam family explore various other somewhat mythical locations. So yeah, this trailer honestly gives me pretty good vibes. I know it's kind of surprising to me how much, I wouldn't say hate, but it's kind of like, yeah, Shazam. But like for me, especially with this second movie, I feel like it's going to be quite a good time. Again, I can't speak for the writing. You guys know I'm quite critical with regards to writing in reviews, but still, this looks like a fun time, like a entertaining time. So I'm very much so looking forward to Shazam, Fury of the Gods. That trailer gave us, I feel, quite a bit more than what the Black Adam trailer did. This is what I mean. I'm not trying to pit them against each other at all. It's just I feel like we need a bit more of other sides of Black Adam, whereas the Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer just gave us quite a conventional, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's the, you know, other realms and whatnot. So more or less, guys, I think that wraps up everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. What are you more actually excited for? That'll be interesting to know. Black Adam or Shazam Fury of the Gods? I've got a feeling some people will say Black Adam, but at the minute, for me, it is kind of, they're both on a similar level. How do you feel about no Henry Cavill appearance whatsoever? Did you have your hopes up at all? So are you extremely disappointed? Did you expect this? Or were you kind of like me, like thinking it was kind of likely, but oh, of course, there was nothing. What I'd really appreciate from you now, guys, is a like on the video, especially if you enjoyed it and got this far. Do consider subscribing for all of the coverage I'll be releasing in the coming days. Follow me on Twitter, and all of the other links to Discord and whatnot is in the description down below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you people of the DC Cinematic Universe in the next video. Goodbye.